Okay, it's 7 p.m. on Wednesday, April 5th, 2017. I'd like to commence the April 5th meeting of the Revere Conservation Commission, welcoming everybody in the audience and watching on television. The first item on the agenda is roll call. Member Vincent Laria.
Yeah.
Member Joseph Lavalley.
Yeah.
Member Nicholas Melason.
Yeah.
Member Ann Raponi.
Here.
I'm Andrew DeSantis, Chairman of the Board, and James Saboni, James Saboni is absent. The second item on the agenda is continued is approval of the minutes of March 1st, 2017. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Nicholas Melason to approve.
Second.
Second by Vincent Laria. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Voted in the affirmative. The third item on the agenda is continued public hearing, notice of intent, DEP file 061064, Belcher Street, lots 130, 129, part of lot 128, construction of a single-family home by Garofalo Corporation. Tony? Introduce yourself, please. Let's open the public hearing first, Tony, excuse me. Do I have a motion to open?
I'll make a motion.
Should open.
Second.
Motion by Ann Raponi, second by Joseph Lavelle. All those in favor?
Aye.
Vote in the affirmative. All right, now, Tony, you're up.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It is a privilege to be in front of the Revere Conservation Commission tonight. I have before you a single-family home development.
Turn on the microphone.
Turn on the microphone and introduce yourself, Tony. Name and address.
The project engineer for the site, my name is Anthony Esposito. I live at 55-7 South Meadow Village in Carver, Massachusetts. With me this evening is Mr. Ron Cavallo of Cavallo Corporation. He is the developer and builder for the single-family home we are proposing to tonight. The Cavallo Corporation has been through zoning, the zoning process for their building permit requirements as far as that stage had to be completed. We are in front of you tonight because the site, which is a 3,824 square foot site, as surveyed by Boston Survey Inc. out of Charlestown, is within 100 feet of a coastal bank, which we are calling the front face of an existing seawall. Okay? There is a zone AE in the abutting lot to the west, but the elevations show that the flood zone is in the abutting lots. The lot, or the area that we are working in, we believe is a rare zone X that's sandwiched between the zone AE of the flood zone and a velocity zone. On our previous submittal to the commission, we had a balcony that was attached to the main structure of the building. During a on-site meeting with members of the commission, there was some concerns that the structure might have to be constructed in accordance to FEMA requirements for being in a velocity zone. We've done some redesign. We took away the larger balcony and we replaced it with a 3x8 smaller balcony that's supported above the velocity zone. The first floor will have a breakaway porch, which is allowed by FEMA as long as it's not directly attached to the structure. The structure does not have to be constructed through FEMA regulations of being in a velocity zone. One of the plans in your packet shows a meets and bounds description of the structure and the balconies, and a determination by FEMA in your package with your application stuff, that they reviewed our changes and agree that now the structure is not within the velocity zone, and that's what we have for a plan for you tonight. So the plans consist of a site plan, which is, you're seeing right now, a detail sheet, and a sheet that mimics the site plan, but shows meets and bounds around the building and around the balcony, showing its separation from the velocity zone. The fourth sheet is a survey plan by Boston Survey, Inc., which the site plan was based on. We, on advice of the chairman, we submitted for a notice of intent a while ago. We apologize for the delay in opening up the hearing. But we're here before you tonight. We're requesting an order of conditions to construct a single-family home on Belcher Street. It's located on map 2, block 72. The parcels include 129, 130 in total, and a portion of 128. The previous, or the current owner, did some moving around of some property lines, some dividing and redividing to create the lot that we are currently proposed to work on. We have a drive-under garage with, it's approximately, just put a quick scale here. 15 by 16 in area. That is the only paved area we are proposing. The rest is decking and rooftop. The site currently is a mowed lawn, so there's no vegetation or tree clearing required, and the foundation will be supported on piles. So with that, I can open it up to questions. First question is, I've got some green cards in here. Does the chairman want me to submit some of these green
Yes,
cards? Okay.
Any questions for Mr. Esposito?
Yes, I have a question. To you, Mr. Chairman.
Speaking to the mic, please.
On the,
Thanks, Tony.
on the 3x8, you reduced the balcony. Did I hear you say you reduced the size of the balcony to 3x8?
Yes.
What was the previous size?
It was 10 by 24.
That is quite a reduction. All right, 24. And regarding the garage under 15 by 18, 15 by 16, did I hear that right?
That's not the garage. That's the paved driveway to go into the garage under. The garage is going to be, part of the basement.
And
So-
how many cars will it house?
I believe it's sized for 2 cars.
Two car. Thank you.
You mentioned correspondence from FEMA
Yes.
regarding the velocity zone. The only thing I find in the application is a letter of map amendment.
Okay, but I believe there's a highlighted paragraph that says the structure is not in the velocity zone?
Yes, I see that.
Okay.
But I was expecting actually a letter from FEMA, because that's the way you expressed it to me, email to me.
That's what I thought we would get as well, Mr. Chairman, but this is their procedure.
Okay, that's fine. I've written an order of conditions. One of the things I put in there is no part of the lot topography shall be paved with impervious materials.
Okay, the only pavement we have is to enter the garage under in the front. Are you suggesting that we change that and do
Yes.
something impervious?
Yes, but something pervious, not something impervious.
Something pervious, sorry, but my mistake.
Yeah,
The developer is
either
amenable
paving
to that.
stones or permeable bituminous concrete or pervious cement concrete, either of those will be acceptable. So I just wanted to make sure you'd be aware of that before we vote. Any other questions for Mr. Esposito from the commission? Anybody in the audience? Any interest for or against this granting of a permit for a single-family home in Belcher? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing and issue the order of conditions. that
I'll
I
make a
prepared.
motion.
Motion by
And I'll second it.
Nick Malayson. Second by Ann Raponi to close the public hearing and issue order of conditions. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Voted in the affirmative. Okay, we'll sign it tonight, Tony. It's a 10-day waiting period anyways. I use today as the date of issuance.
Okay.
And then I've got to make copies of it, and I'll send it to you. Or do you want me to send it to Mr. Cavallo? Let's make sure I got his address. 70 Victoria Street, Somerville? Okay, I'll send it directly to you, and I'll send a copy by email to Tony.
Thank you very much for your
You're
time.
welcome. There you go, Nick. Next item on the agenda is a public hearing for a notice of intent, DEP file number 0610692, 15 Acadia Street, demolition installation of an existing home and installation of a prefabricated single-family home and reconstructed and expanded foundation, Haney Bender. Thanks, Bill. Yep. Motion to open the public hearing?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Motion on the floor to open the public hearing for DEP file number 0610692. Thanks. 15 Acadia Street. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Voted in the affirmative. You're on, Bill. Introduce
All
yourself,
right.
please.
My name is William Manuel, Bill Manuel, from Wetlands and Land Management in Danvers, Massachusetts. And Mr. Bandar is here. He's the owner and the applicant, as well as the contractor for this site. And the proposal is to basically deconstruct the existing home that's on the lot, bring it down to the existing foundation, which is a block foundation. And then once the existing home is off the foundation, we want to raise the height of the foundation to get it above the 100-year flood elevation and add a little bit of length to it, and then bring in a modular home and drop that on the foundation. We would also add remove the deck that's at the rear of the home and add a new deck after the modular home is constructed. And we're here before this commission tonight because this work occurs within an AE zone, elevation 11. We're a couple hundred yards from the beach, but with the FEMA maps, they predict this area will flood in a 100-year event, and so that's why we're here.
Okay. Any questions from the commission?
Yes, hi.
Yes.
I'd like a little clarification to know exactly what I'm looking at here. The proposed foundation, I see two arrows, but it seems to go right to the beginning of the proposed deck. Am I assuming that under the deck there's no foundation?
That is correct. Yep.
So that's where the foundation stops, right? Where it says 19.94, that number?
That's right.
And then how is the deck anchored to the ground? Just sonotubes?
Sonotubes, yes.
And it's all open underneath, or you
That's correct. Yep.
intend to put lattice? Or
Lattice would
Just-
be nice, because it's...
just a point of inquiry?
Yep, lattice would probably be nice.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else? Questions or comments from the commission? Anybody in the audience with questions?
Yes,
Sir?
I have a question regarding the raising
One
of the
sec.
foundation. What's the size of the foundation now before you make the increase?
The size of the foundation is 680 square feet. and then we're going to increase it to about 900 square feet. So we're adding on roughly
Well, the difference between 60,
20.
it's the difference between 900 and 680.
Yep.
Thank you.
And it'll be elevated how much over the existing?
We need to bring it up about a foot and a half or 2 feet,
Okay, not too
a
bad.
couple courses a block.
Okay, gentlemen in the audience would like to speak on this? Please come to the mic and state your name and your address.
Thank you, Mr. Commissioner. Rod Burrow, 5 Argyle Street, this city. I'm a direct abutter to 15 Acadia. I noticed in the application for this commission, and noticing a discrepancy in their presentation to you, that they're going to use sonotube for the deck. In their application to you, they say they're going to use diamond block with rebar reinforcement on grade level.
Yeah, he doesn't show a detail on that.
It's in the scope of the work in their
Yeah, that's
detail.
look for the write-up.
The abutter's correct, I misspoke.
Oh, okay. So it's going to be, what type of foundation did you say it was?
In the application, it said diamond block, which is supposed to be set on, and then rebar driven into the ground, so on crushed stone.
Okay,
So that's a grade level type of block. It's not in sonotube, it's not 4 feet below.
and that's what it's going to be, right?
That's just for the deck. Yes.
And how deep do you put the crushed stone?
The crushed stone is like a leveling pad.
Okay, so you don't do anything for frost protection,
Correct, that's my concern.
okay?
But the rebar is driven, it's pretty long pieces of rebar that are driven at angles, opposing angles to each other.
Yeah, I think I had seen a section on that.
And the benefit is that you don't have to do the foundation. Most sonotubes now require that Bigfoot foundation, which really has like a 3-foot base. It's not really just
Yep,
a 12-inch diameter cylinder. And so this avoids that fairly significant excavation.
and your concern is frost heaving?
Frost heaving and not knowing the height of the deck, if it's going to be first floor or come off second floor.
It'll come off the first floor, but the first floor is a story above the ground.
Yes, I'm aware of that. I'm aware of that part.
Yeah, so the plan shows 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 steps,
Which is pretty high.
which is pretty high, given a step's going to be 7 3/4 inches, something like that.
And
So
for
around
point
8
of
foot.
reference, my deck was just redone, and it was existing, and they are on sonotube that was then 8 inches in diameter, 4 foot down, and they do heave. So I
Even
just-
with the sonotubes?
Right, in talking with engineering this morning about that fact and about what they proposed, they're now issuing 12-inch diameter sonotube below grade
Oh,
for us.
that's interesting.
So this concerns me with knowing the area that I do, being there 20 years, that might be a concern.
Okay. Yeah, it would be a concern to Conservation Commission through prevention of flood damage.
Yeah, whatever the building inspector requires, that's what we will do.
Okay,
We'd like to walk in and propose to him that we're going to use the diamond block
okay.
post base. It's a less intrusive way to fix the posts on the deck.
Yeah, my opinion is to leave that decision to the building inspector. It's really immaterial to, other than, if you do get a flood and the thing lifts and floats away, damages somebody else's house.
Agreed. So this wasn't
Okay.
reviewed by building department yet.
No.
Okay.
This step is the last step before building permit.
Understood. Thank you. That was my only
And
concern at this time.
If Nick's on it, I'm sure he'll be on this too. I don't know if Bill's dealt with Nick yet. I have not done. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, the only thing that I put in the conditions is no new impervious surfacing. I see a proposed driveway. If the driveway's there,
The house is directly against the street.
okay?
So there is going to be a garage under, which is to be built into the cellar, but there's no driveway, it's just you're going to pull off the street, across the sidewalk, and into the...
What's your setback on frontage?
0.
0? Oh, okay. So with the, so the existing stairs are on city layout? Have you talked to the DPW superintendent?
I did, and we modified it a little bit, and we might leave the door opening just to the left, so there's nothing intruding onto the...
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, a door opening up onto right-of-way is not allowed. What about sidewalk?
Again, it's almost zero lot line. If we can make it on the right side, we'll definitely...
Yeah, he typically looks for sidewalk in front of the structure, city sidewalk to replace it, because I'm sure anybody who's been here for a while, they realizes there's a lot of locations we don't have sidewalk, Acadia Street being one of them.
And, yes, Argyle as well, correct.
Yeah, so Donnie's trying to get it done piecemeal. Yeah, but I'm comfortable with this otherwise, putting flood openings in the foundation,
Okay.
which is what we
No other
require.
concerns for the commission at this time.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? Have a motion to close the public hearing?
I'll make a motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Close the public hearing and issue an order that I prepared. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
Thank you.
Okay, we'll sign it tonight, then I'll have to copy it, file it with DEP, and send the original to you?
Right. At the
I didn't
address.
hear you.
Send it to the applicant at the address and the notice of intent.
Okay. Let me just make sure I got the right address here.
Fort Sheldon Circle, Middleton, Mass.
Okay. Yep, I get that, Middleton, Mass, right? Yep, all set. I'll send it to you. I'll send you a copy, Bill, by email. Okay, next item on the agenda is notice of intent, DEP file number 06106 has actually, file number has not been issued. Demolition of existing building and parking and construction, a new health center building and parking, East Boston Neighborhood Health Center. This is 10 Garofalo Way, which is the Mottola post currently.
That is correct, yep.
Have a motion to open the public hearing?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All those in favor? Any opposed? Voted in the affirmative? Okay, you're on. Introduce yourself, please.
Hey, good evening. My name is Kevin Biersch. I'm from Isgenuity Architects, and we're here representing the East
Can you
Boston.
spell your last name, Kevin?
It's W-Y-R-S-C-H.
T-H?
Yep.
And the name of the firm?
Isgenuity, I-S-G-E-N-U-I-T-Y.
Ingenuity.
Sorry, Isgenuity. There's an S after the I.
Say it again, please.
I-S.
Oh, I had it right.
Yep.
Just the way you spelled it. Ingenuity.
sorry.
I heard him
It's-
wrong.
it's a little tricky.
All right, I can see it. That's fine. Okay, Kevin, go ahead.
So I'm here with Peter Spanos from Gale Associates, civil engineer on the project, as well as Steve Fraser in the corner, Vice President of Campus Operations from the East Boston Neighborhood Health Center. And we're here this evening to review the proposed new structure at 10 Garofalo Street. As you mentioned in your introduction, The proposed project would include the removal of the current VFW post that's at that location. So a complete removal of that 9,000 square foot building and the replacement with this new 15,500 square foot, one-story new facility for East Boston Neighborhood Health Center, which will be used to run a PACE program, which stands for the Program for All-Inclusive Care for the Elderly. We have so far gone through a sort of several steps in the city, which have included a ZBA hearing and some zoning relief on a couple items and approval of that. We're also in the middle of our site plan review and have sort of a final package into the city engineer for their review and sort of final blessing based on some comments we heard at our last meeting a few weeks ago. And then I think, we're here this evening to review the proposed project and answer any questions you may have. And I think I'll hand it over to Peter, the civil expert in the room.
Lest I forget, Peter,
Yes,
return check originally for the state. It was sent to
Yes.
us instead. Yeah, I got the check for Revere. That was sent by DEP. So here's a check back for the
and
state.
here's the
Return
cards
receipt.
and
Okay.
proof of mailing of the
Okay, thank you.
So let me just flip this around so it's closer to me. So, just a, as most of you probably already know, just a brief overview of the property. This is where the VFW post building is right now. Borders to the north, the salt marsh, the wetlands there. There's Temple Street that's just to the east of it. To the south is Garofalo Street. The building right now, through the middle of it is the AE zone. It's elevation 10. It runs roughly to the back end of this building right now. And the marsh line is right up against the back of the parking lot. What's being proposed is a complete demolition removal of the building and the existing pavement that's there today. This is the layout of it as it is right now. So the building currently is in the front. The front is now going to be the parking lot, and the new building is going to be in the back. The parking lot up front is, I should back up and say currently the site from property line to property line is basically all impervious. It's either the building or it's paved. And under the proposed conditions, there's going to be a slight betterment of it. There's going to be an edge here that was parking that's going to be removed and restored to natural vegetation. Toward the front where the parking lot is, there are 12 spaces that are being, will be of a pervious material, permeable pavers up front. And then there's going to be some landscaping associated with along Temple and in the front. So the end result is there's going to be less impervious area. The site should propose grading and drainage really quick. So currently right now there is no formal drainage, there's no formal treatment, it just sheet flows to the marsh, to the marsh and the wetlands. So under the proposed conditions, there's going to be the parking lot area into the along Temple and along, I would say, Union Street. It's going to be of permeable paver content. The remaining of the parking lot area will be collected by some small water quality units, and they will discharge through a pipe that's going to be under the building and to the wetlands area. The slight change from the submittal package that you have as a result of comments from Nick, the city engineer, was to create, instead of a flared S section at the end, to create a head wall and do a riprap and level spreader, and that's what we now have.
To do a head wall without the spreader?
No, a head wall with a riprap plunge pool and a level spreader.
Okay.
So he just didn't want the flared end section, he wanted a head wall at
Okay.
the outlet, and then to include a level spreader. And that's what we have currently now, and we can update your plans and show that. Everything else, as far as drainage goes, remains the same. The pipe underneath the building, I think, got a little bit bigger. It went to 18-inch diameter. But as far as everything else, it stays the same. Again, pre and post conditions, it all goes the same way. It all goes from south to north toward the marsh. Is there any questions as far as that goes?
Yeah, my only questions is on the pipe material, with the drain pipe under the slab and how that's going to be supported, and what happens if it fails.
Yeah, that's, currently it's going to be a ductile iron pipe, I believe, and working with the structural engineer, how it's going to fit in through the foundation. So is there, I think
Yeah,
that's
there's
already
been some problems with some facilities in the city, the Beachmont School, the Neckel plant, where hangars have let go for supported the sanitary piping or water distribution piping.
I don't think, though, that this will be a structural slab, correct?
No, so the proposed foundation system is likely going to be a rammed aggregate system, which if you're familiar
Okay.
with rammed aggregate, essentially you're ramming aggregate down into the earth, which sort of shores up the entire site quite nicely. And one of the benefits of that is to sort of mitigate any long-term organic sagging below the slab, and therefore the slab would not need to be a structural slab, which will also probably help your concern over.
Well, that's what I'm asking about is the pipe, it's not something that I like to see, a pipe under a building.
Sure.
Unless it's the sanitary line, which water lines, which they're by necessity. But just thought a point I'd bring it up. Okay. Anybody else have questions?
I don't have a question, I have a comment.
Go
if I
right
may.
ahead, Ann.
Yeah, I didn't realize, I'm familiar with the area, I didn't realize that area was that large. And the fact that you're placing the building in the back rather than the front, that really accommodates quite a large area for parking. Whereas in the past, it was always on the side.
Right.
How many cars, will that be as large as the parking lot that was there or used to be there or will not be there anymore?
I do not believe so. No, there's a
It
reduction.
looks larger,
Well, there's 26 spaces proposed in the new configuration.
76?
26.
Oh, 26.
26. And I don't know exactly how many are in the existing, but, I mean, the big difference is in the existing parking, the vehicles are almost on the street, the back of them, and when they back out, they're backing out onto the street. In this condition, all of that, like, vehicle movement and stuff is pulled off of the roads just into the parking lot itself.
Very attractive building, and I didn't realize the square foot area was that large. Very, very nice. Thank you.
I don't see the DEP's issued a file number yet. When I checked today on the online lookup, there was no file number that had been issued.
Okay.
And I also had a question about your notice of intent application where you checked no part of the project was in the ACEC. My reading of the boundary of the ACEC puts the project in the ACEC.
Okay. Yes, we followed up on that, and the explanation on the ACEC, even though it's the boundary is shown outside our property, it's tied to the flood elevation of 10. We followed up with MIPA, and because this is a federal project, it didn't have to go through TPH or determination of need review, and therefore MIPA said it did need to be reviewed by them. It's through you guys.
Through us guys. And DEP naturally is taking a
Yes,
look at it.
yes, yes.
And that's my concern, is that DEP is going to pick that up unless you had subsequent discussion. I haven't seen, like I said, the file number, which typically comes with comments.
Mm-hmm. No, I have not. We have not followed up with DEP with their comments, no.
So rather than issuing an order tonight, I think it's in your best interest to continue it to our May meeting, for the simple reason that if we issue an order, I file it, it gets appealed, then you're delayed 4 months, 6 months.
Sure. Sure.
So that's my intention tonight, if it's agreeable to the applicant, wait till comments from them to make sure they're satisfied. And
Is there,
did you provide new detail to them on the outfall?
on their outfall? No, this was subsequent to the latest engineer's comments.
Okay, so you probably want to do that, find out who the
Yeah.
reviewer is, get them that, so they can see that, and, hopefully they speed up the process. Sometimes they take a long time, but like I said, if it goes to appeal, then it's at least 4 months. That's a quick one.
Sure. Is there any other concerns within your purview?
Well, let's hear from the neighbors. I see there are a bunch of neighbors here in attendance. Anybody from the neighborhood like to speak on this? Any comments in favor, opposed, anything at all? Did you get enough information on what you were here to see?
We're a different neighborhood.
Oh, you're a different neighborhood. Oh, okay. That's fine. I assume there'll be some people here, although I believe they've had public meetings about the proposal. Okay, so motion to continue to,
Make a motion to continue.
let me get a date. That'd be the 3rd of May. Motion to continue by Nick Melason. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Joseph Lavalley. Till May 3rd. All those in favor? Any opposed? Vote in the affirmative. Okay, we'll
you.
see you in a month. Okay, the next item is public hearing, notice of intent, DEP file number 061-069. Again, this hasn't been issued yet. 101 Summer Street, construction of a single-family home. Kevin Marley. Hey, Kevin. We have a motion to open the public hearing.
I'll make a motion.
That was by Nick?
Vinnie.
Vin, okay. I was going to say Vin first. Okay, seconded by Nick. All those in favor? Any opposed? So voted. Floor is yours, Kevin.
Kevin Marley, builder, owner, from Hull, Massachusetts.
From what?
Hull, Massachusetts.
How? Okay.
Why, couldn't hear that?
Oh, the way you said it.
Oh, all right.
You ran your words together. Okay, so
With-
tell us what you're
This is to
doing.
construct a single-family home on 101 Summer Street. The structure is out of the flood zone, floodplain.
Part of the land's in the floodplain.
Yeah, the bottom part of the land is, the right part. Left part, left side.
Any questions for Mr. Marley? Anybody in the audience would like to speak on this? Nope, no comments from anybody? Okay. Only comment I have is you didn't file all your information with DEP. If you go and look up online for your file number, they haven't issued it because they said you didn't include the locust map.
Oh, really?
wetlands. Yes.
Okay.
So you need to get that done. What I would do is call DEP and find out exactly find out who's handling the file and find out exactly what they're looking for and get it to them, and they should quickly turn it around.
Okay. Mike, do you know that? Okay.
But I've written an order of conditions for it. It's up to the commission. You want to close the public hearing and issue?
I'll make a motion to close the hearing and issue the conditions.
I'll second it.
All those in favor? Okay, so we'll get this signed tonight, then I'll have to file with DEP, but I can't do that until I get the number.
Okay. All right,
So
thank you.
I'll know when you straighten it out, because I'll look online, hopefully it's before next Wednesday. If it's not, then I won't be able to do it till the following week, because I'm taking a road trip.
Okay, we'll get it done by then. Thank you.
All right, Kevin. Green cards? Thank you.
Thank you.
Here you go, Nick. Next item on the agenda is a public meeting, request for termination of applicability, 777 North Shore Road, excavation and off-site disposal of oil-contaminated soil from property.
Good evening. Thank you for your time tonight. My name is Jonathan O'Brien. I'm with Tate & Howard Engineering, based out of Marlborough, Massachusetts. And we're representing Stephen Williams tonight from North Shore Road. So the proposed work involves the excavation and off-site disposal of oil, contaminated soil that's resulting from a leaking oil water separator and some abandoned.
Yeah, speak into the mic,
Oh,
please,
sorry.
Stephen.
So an abandoned, a leaking oil water separator and some abandoned underground storage tanks that were found at the property during due diligence assessments conducted for a pending transaction. So the proposal is to excavate the contaminated soil and place it into roll-off containers that will be temporarily stored on site. And then the soil will be characterized for off-site disposal at a facility up in New Hampshire. The area of proposed excavation is located within the floodplain, so that's the resource area that we're dealing with. And there are a few stormwater catch basins that are located near the proposed excavation areas, so we'll be implementing appropriate erosion control measures for those catch basins, putting in silt sacks or to mitigate any erosion into those structures. The work is anticipated to be completed within about a week, and that's it.
Okay,
They'll
any
be back
questions? What did you say your name was again?
Jonathan O'Brien.
Okay, for some reason I heard it as Stephen Johnson. Anybody in the audience? This is a public meeting. I prepared a determination of applicability for a negative determination that an NOI is not required. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
That was by Nick.
I'll second it.
To issue the negative determination. All those in favor? Any opposed? Voted in the affirmative.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Jonathan. There you go, Nick.
So
Next item on the agenda is
Oh, sorry, just a
request-
quick question. Is there something that's issued by the commission prior to the
Yes.
start of the work?
Yes, I will
Okay.
issue the actual determination of applicability to you.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Okay, I'll send it directly to your attention.
Okay, thanks.
Yep. Next item is public meeting, request for termination of applicability, 220 Linway, reconstruction of a front entrance platform. Attorney Simeoni.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. My name is Attorney Lawrence Simeoni with law offices at 300 Broadway, Revere, Massachusetts. I represent 220 Linway LLC. The activities proposed in the riverfront area are the result of the annual inspection done by the Revere Licensing Commission by the Revere Fire Department. Deputy Cheevers indicated that he would like 2 bollards placed in front of the FDC, the Fire Department connection, as well as an exit access point at the nurse's office on the right-hand side. So specifically, we're proposing to build a 4-by-3-foot set of stairs. The building already has 2 handicap ramps. And we're proposing to put in 2 concrete ballads, 6-inch steel pipe, filed approximately 2 feet 6 inches in front of the FDC as requested by the Deputy Fire Chief.
Thank you. Any questions for Attorney Simeoni? This is the old Jacob's
Yes, it is.
Ladder.
Yeah.
And it was recently sold, J.S. Spinos sold it to this group.
The Route 1 AALLC, Maria Epsimo sold it to
So
the
it's
group.
continued as the same use, an adult daycare.
Adult daycare and a restaurant.
Oh, it's going to be a restaurant too?
Well, the Mirage Restaurant has always been there. And
Oh, I
that's who
see.
holds the liquor license.
Okay. So, no questions? I've determined it's also a negative determination. If you're in agreement with me, and I could get a motion to issue.
I'll make a
Make a
motion.
motion.
Motion by Nick Malayson. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Ann Raponi. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Voted in the affirmative.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, members.
You're welcome. I'll mail this directly to you once I get a copy. You go, Nick. Next item is a public meeting, request for termination of applicability, City of Revere, CWRS Contract 3A, WW001, house pump, sump pump removal, program inflow removal project. Magdalena? Turn that on, please, Magdalena. Push the big button. There you go.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Magdalena Lofsted. I'm a wetland scientist with CDM Smith, and I'm here tonight representing the City of Revere. We filed a request for determination of applicability for the citywide, another contract, Contract 3A of the citywide house sump pump inflow removal program. The purpose of this citywide program is basically to remove extraneous flows from the existing sewer system. In this particular case, they are proposing to extend 2 drains and replace 1 drain within land subject to coastal storm flowage and a 100-foot buffer zone to land subject to coastal storm flowage. The 3 streets are Fowler Street, Waitsworth, and Bay Roads. So maybe we start with, what is that, the Fowler Avenue. The existing drain has collapsed in 2 locations, so they're proposing to replace that, about 500 linear feet of that existing drain with a new 12-inch ductile iron drain, and connecting 6 sump pumps into the drain system. So basically removing the sump pumps, they're connected to the sewer system now, and they'll be reconnected to the new drain. Do you want to add anything? This is Terry, he's the design engineer.
And the drainage goes to the drain pump station on Rice Ave?
Yep,
And it's in good shape, running well?
it is, yep.
And the drainage on Bay Road?
All right,
It
so,
goes to an outfall at Eastern County Ditch?
Yep, that one goes down to, is it Lawrence Road, and then falls out, and the outfall is down at the end of Lawrence.
And the ditch needs to be cleaned? Not within your scope?
not right now.
Yeah, no, I was
We'll
at
make
a
a note
meeting
of
with the
that.
mayor and Donnie Goodwin yesterday, and they were talking about getting the ditches cleaned, putting a program together.
That sounds good, that's a good
Now,
idea.
in order for this work to succeed and alleviate flooding, they're going to need to be able to have flow in the ditch. Any questions from other members? Member Lavalley?
Yeah, this is the pumping station right on Rice Ave?
Yes, at the end, at the very point of it.
Are you-
By the yacht club.
Yeah. Are you doing any work on the pipe that leads from the pump seaward into the Saugus River?
No, we have no plan in this project to,
Is that functional? Is that working? Do you know?
I believe so, yes.
You don't sound too confident, then.
Oh, yeah,
Is
I
it
know.
buried, Joe?
Huh?
Is it buried?
Yeah, it is. It is buried. I'm familiar with the area, and I was just wondering if you know whether or not there's any problem with the... I know they test the pump all the time, but
Yeah, I'm not aware of any issues with it, not that I have heard of. And I've spoken with Nick Rice from here as well, and...
Now, is there any work that has to be done at this pump itself?
No.
None?
No.
This is all on the streets
This is all just
prior
on-
to the pump?
Right, yep.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
also services from homes.
Yeah.
Disconnecting the sump pump from the sewer pipe and putting in a drain pipe.
Right.
And those will have check valves on them, so you won't be able
Correct.
to get water back.
Yep.
Thank you.
Anybody in the audience would like to comment on this? Questions? Okay, again, I've determined a negative determination and prepared such. So if I have a motion,
I'll make a motion.
I have a second.
I'll second it.
To issue a negative determination. Thanks, Ann.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Here you go, Nick. Last thing on the agenda is to re-sign a certificate of compliance. I had sent it to Mr. Catanazzo. We voted it and signed it last meeting. I sent it to his address. He was away, and so it's currently lost in the mail. So we don't need a vote or anything, just we can re-sign it. Anybody who was here for the vote, which would have been myself, Nick, Joseph, and Vincent. And then I got a call today from, I'm assuming you're Leo Ma, for a certificate of compliance for 180. Come on up to the microphone, Leo Ma. We issued an order of conditions for this project a year ago tomorrow, April 6, 2016.
Yes.
And Leo Ma contacted me today about getting a sign-off on occupancy.
Yes, I did.
So I told him that we are meeting today. And there were some documents he needed to provide. Thank you. Among them, the as-built plan,
Yeah, I was having,
the elevation certificate,
yeah, they have the certification already, just pick up for him right now. The only thing is don't have a time to stamp yet, because I have those special vent windows, and they arrived yesterday. I just put it in yesterday, He has no time to go to the picture to stamp the plan, but I do have the certification already. Out of the stamp, he will gonna stamp tomorrow for me.
Okay, so what I told him I'd do is I'd bring it to the commission tonight, give me the documents you have, and then when you get the stamped document, we could vote it. He's going to close a week from Friday, so he's in a hurry. And I wouldn't release it until I received all the documents that I need. Okay, so could I have a motion to issue?
I'll make a motion to issue.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. So voted. Okay. This is, give you the right page for the signature. There you go. Okay. Thanks, Sam. So you can give them to me now, or you can give it to me when you get everything complete, whatever you want to do, Leomar, but I won't be giving you or signing off until I get everything complete.
He will stamp me tomorrow. There's one
Okay.
picture, because he's a little like to work in very state, my engineer, you know what I mean? I just show him a picture on my phone and say, now, I would like to be there myself, and then I stamp you. But you can bring that to the city hall and show him what it has in my hand, but he will be able to stamp me tomorrow.
Yeah, when you get everything, then we'll get together. Excuse me?
When you get to stamp, we'll bring everything all.
Yeah, do everything all at once, so I don't lose anything, you don't lose anything.
Okay.
So call me,
Yeah, I will, I have your number, I'll call you tomorrow.
okay?
Or probably Friday morning in case.
Friday morning's good, I'm planning on being down in Beachmont Friday morning anyways,
All right, great.
to look at something at the old
He always like
Sarah
to have a lot of hands, and like today, he's planning to have this done today, but last minute right now, he's pick up me and put a note over here, say, I can't have be there today. I show him my picture, saying, I'm sorry, I want to take my own picture, say, okay, it's fine.
Okay, are you lighthouse renovations?
Yes, I am.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Sam.
All right. I
Okay.
will contact you on Friday morning, and we'll go from there.
Yep,
All right?
yeah.
Thank you all.
I'm up early, Leomar, so
Appreciate
don't be
it.
afraid
Thank you
to
very
call.
much. Thanks for all this.
Rather do it earlier rather than later, okay?
Yep,
You know, 8, 9 o'clock's fine.
I appreciate it, thank you.
Okay, Leomar. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Vote in the affirmative. Adjourned at 7:57, not bad. Oh, you're waiting for